Hi, Noobs Recaps here. Today I'm going to explain an action thriller sci-fi movies called The Awareness. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins by plunging us into Ian's precarious life on the run. Raised by his father, Ian has been trained to use his powers for small cons, carefully staying under the radar. Their relationship is built on necessity and survival, with Ian's father constantly reminding him of the need to remain invisible. The tension between father and son is palpable from the start. While his father is hyper-focused on staying safe, Ian is restless, frustrated by the limitations imposed on him and eager to explore the full extent of his abilities. As they move from city to city, pulling off minor scams to survive, we see glimpses of Ian's unique talent. In a clever blend of special effects and immersive visuals, the audience is shown how Ian's powers work. He doesn't physically alter reality but changes how people perceive it. A crowded street can suddenly seem deserted. A wallet full of cash might appear empty. With this ability, Ian can manipulate any situation to his advantage, but always with the understanding that they cannot draw too much attention. His powers are dangerous and, if exposed, would make him a target. Things take a sharp turn when Ian's growing frustration leads him to a moment of recklessness. During a confrontation in a public square, Ian loses control and unleashes his powers in front of a crowd, warping reality in such a dramatic way that it leaves witnesses stunned. The fallout from this incident is immediate. Ian's father is furious, knowing that this kind of exposure will put them directly in the crosshairs of powerful forces who would want to exploit Ian's abilities. Sure enough, Ian and his father soon find themselves hunted. Two distinct organizations quickly converge on them. The first is a secretive government agency, one that has been monitoring for individuals like Ian. They view his powers as a potential asset, something to be controlled, weaponized, and used for covert operations. The second organization is a mysterious private group that claims to have a different agenda. They offer Ian protection, promising to help him understand his powers and even suggesting that there are others like him. This group positions itself as a force for good, but their true intentions are far from clear. As Ian and his father go on the run, the movie's pace quickens, turning into a tense cat-and-mouse game. Both organizations have their sights set on Ian, and the pursuit leads to a series of exhilarating chase sequences, with Ian using his powers in increasingly creative ways to evade capture. The visual effects continue to impress, with reality shifting and warping around Ian as he manipulates the world to his advantage. But the cost of these actions weighs heavily on him. Each time he uses his powers, Ian risks exposure and further entangles himself in the web of those trying to control him. The heart of the movie, however, isn't just the chase. It's the evolving dynamic between Ian and his father, and Ian's own internal conflict about his powers. His father remains the voice of caution, urging Ian to continue hiding and to avoid drawing more attention. But Ian is growing increasingly disillusioned with this life. He's tired of running, tired of living in fear, and starting to question whether hiding is the right choice. He begins to believe that perhaps his powers were meant for something more, that he could use them for a greater purpose rather than just survival. As the narrative unfolds, we see Ian grapple with the weight of responsibility that comes with his powers. The two organizations vying for control of Ian provide an interesting contrast. The government agency is cold, calculating, and unrelenting. They see Ian as nothing more than a tool, a weapon to be wielded for their own gain. Their representatives are ruthless in their pursuit, willing to go to any lengths to capture him. On the other hand, the private organization presents a facade of benevolence. They offer Ian comfort, understanding, and the promise of freedom. They claim to want to help him, but their true motives remain murky, leaving Ian, and the audience, unsure of who to trust. This uncertainty heightens the tension as Ian finds himself caught between two opposing forces, neither of which seems to have his best interests at heart. The film skillfully builds suspense, with Ian's decisions becoming more difficult and his choices increasingly fraught with danger. Along the way, he learns more about his powers, discovering that they are far more potent than he had ever realized. What was once a tool for petty cons and survival reveals itself to be something far more powerful, and far more dangerous, than Ian had imagined. The stakes continue to escalate as Ian is forced to make a series of life-altering decisions. His relationship with his father becomes increasingly strained as they face danger at every turn. His father, who has always been the protector and guide, starts to falter under the pressure, and Ian begins to realize that he may have to take control of his own destiny. This marks a turning point in Ian's character arc, as he transitions from a reluctant user of his powers to someone who begins to understand their full potential and the responsibility that comes with them. As the film hurtles toward its climax, the two rival organizations close in on Ian, setting the stage for a dramatic showdown. The final act is a whirlwind of action, suspense, and mind-bending reality manipulation. Ian's powers are on full display as he fights to free himself from the forces trying to control him. The visual effects reach their peak here, with reality twisting and fracturing in spectacular ways as Ian pushes his abilities to their limits. The tension is palpable as the stakes reach their highest point. Will Ian choose to use his powers for good, or will he become a pawn in a larger game? In the end, Awareness delivers a satisfying and thought-provoking conclusion. Ian's final decision marks a turning point not only for him but for the world around him, with the potential to shift the balance of power in ways that could have far-reaching consequences.